Alrighty. We are live. Good afternoon, evening. What is it? Almost 8 o'clock. It's evening. All right. Wanted to talk about lawn tractor drive belt issue I had today. If anyone chimes in, that's great. Otherwise, you can watch it later. It was an older tractor, MTD, Boland's branded MTD. And it was former customer that I had for years. We serviced it since it was almost new. Sold it to another customer of mine who got his destroyed in a flood or something. We had a massive rain last year, and the river in back of his house, flooded his shed, and the tractor got all messed up. Anyway, so he has his Bolands now. Problem is, his yard has a lot of trees, sticks, things like that, and sticks have a tendency to screw up mower deck belts, especially on lawn tractors, where it's a little lesser quality, a little lesser heavy duty, if you will. Not as heavy duty as a lawn and garden tractor. Anyhow, long story short, went through a couple of belts, and he was buying aftermarket belts. So I said that could be part of the problem, but it could also be that you have big sticks and everything, in there too. And it looked like the stick jammed the belt in a pulley, and it just burnt it. No big deal. It happens. Anyway, so I said to him, buy a factory MTD belt. They're a little more expensive, but when you buy the factory belt, it's the right size, number one, the right material and all that stuff. So anyway, he buys the belt, calls me up last week, says he has the belt, wants me to put it on. I said, okay. So tonight after work, get my trailer, go over, pick up the tractor, bring it to the house, take the deck off. Of course, it's full of grass and everything else. I tell him to clean it. He doesn't clean it. So I see the belt's all burnt up, like it got stuck, jammed in a pulley. I see sticks jammed in there. So I knew it was sticks. That's okay. So I take out the new belt, looked it up, and it was the right part number and everything. I put it on, and it seemed like it wasn't really tight, like it wasn't really enough tension. So I looked at all the linkages, looked at the idler pulley and the cable with the spring, the way it engages and all, and that looked fine. Everything looked good. But it still seemed like there was probably an inch, maybe a little less of, slack in this belt. And I said, it's a brand new belt. So I'm thinking, and there's really no adjustment. So there's nothing you can do with that. You can't adjust the cable. You can't adjust the pulley. There really is no adjustment on this deck. It's an MTD deck, 42 inch. So I started thinking about, where have I run into this before? And it's been a while. It's probably been about 5 or 10 years. Hey, Tim. It's been about 5 or 10 years since I've seen this issue. But what the issue is that the engine pulley, the bottom of the stamped pulley, where the lawn tractor mower deck belt resides, is worn out. It's spread slightly, and it's worn over time. So it's causing the belt to ride in probably about a half an inch. And for those mathematicians out there, circumference is pi times diameter, so 3.14159 times diameter. So if that belt is in just a quarter inch, where in that pulley, that's a half inch on the circumference, half inch times 3.14, that's over an inch and a half that the tractor thinks the belt is longer. Inch and a half, that's a ton. So two options. You can either buy the engine pulley, which, of course, I look it up. It's NLA, no longer available, of course. Or what I suggested was, let's measure the belt. If you go online for this belt, it says it's 101 inches. If you go on Stens and other things, it'll say 100, 100.5. Well, the MTD belt, MTD says it's 101. I said, okay, so we're going to try a belt that's, an inch shorter and see if it works. It should be a lot better, definitely a lot better. And what happens is when you raise that deck up and down, you can see as the belt's traveling up and down on the pulleys, it'll get tighter and looser as it goes up and down because the distance away from the pulley is getting shorter and longer. But I remember Donnie Boy did a video a number of years ago about worn out pulleys on the deck drive belts, the ones that come off the engine. So that's definitely what it is. I looked at the engine pulley. You could see the groove that's worn in there. You could see it spread a little bit. So it's a worn out pulley. The thing to do is get a new pulley, engine pulley. But like I said, they're NLA, no longer available. I may have one on a parts engine in a tractor in my backyard. I'll take a look and I'll see if I have that. But at this point, it does run. It does cut. It's just that when you engage the PTO, it's not automatically and squealing and screeching and running. Takes a second for the friction, and then it'll go. Buffering, showing pretty good here, Tim. I think you're the only one on, buddy. Anyway, so I'm waiting for him to call me now and say it's not cutting, but we'll see. It just sucks when you spend all the money on the factory belt, which I told him at first, probably just needs a factory belt because he always bought the cheaper $10 aftermarket belt. And I think a factory belt's $35. So we'll see what happens with that. How's the weather down there, Tim? It's getting warm up here. We're going to have another 90-degree week next week. It's supposed to get a little bit of rain this weekend, but it's been nice the past few days, or low 80s. It hasn't been too bad. But they say next week it's supposed to be 90s again. So, typical, another 2 weeks, the school starts. So it's always blazing hot the first couple of weeks of school when they don't have the air conditioning turned on. So we'll see what happens. But that's about it for that story. Like I said, engine, pulley that drives the deck belt, check them. Check to make sure they're not worn out. You can tell because if you put the belt in the pulley, it should be, maybe a half inch from the outer edge. This thing was an inch from the outer. You could tell it was worn. So hopefully that'll solve the problem. He's like probably gonna be mad because he bought the factory belt. I said, well, if I could find a factory pulley for you, I'll put it on. But I remember Donnie Boy, when he did his video, it just so happened the one that he was working on was still available. So he bought a new engine pulley and everything worked out fine. So we'll see. Who knows? I may look out and find one on eBay or something, or in my backyard, one of the parts tractors. We'll see. You still buffering, Tim, or can you see it okay? Because it looks like it's okay here. My signal shows strong, so I'm assuming everything's okay. The hedge trimmer, everything went perfect with that until the guy came to pick it up. Then it wouldn't start. And I said, you know what? I jinxed myself. I totally jinxed. Ralph, a guy who lives sort of near me, maybe an hour away in Connecticut, RW3 dog, if you're watching, you jinxed me because you said, oh, it worked with the Chinese carb. And it did work great for a day or so. Then the guy comes to pick it up and the darn thing won't start. So then I go to start it again. The pull rope broke off again. I'm like, oh, here we go. So I think the guy realizes, you put cheap stuff on and it may not work or last. So I'll try it again in the morning, start fresh again, and maybe it'll be fine again. Who knows? I've had good luck with some of the Chinese stuff and I've had bad luck. So, we'll see what happens. Lucky, how you doing? How you making out since your little accident there? I was thinking about you the other day. You had some hell of a paramedic crew work on you the other day. I enjoyed the video, and you're tough, brother. You're real tough to go through what you went through. But how's the ankle? I sort of felt the pain you were going through, but you didn't. Are you? What do they got? Got any metal in you? Because I know you said you had a pretty good fracture there. I'm assuming it was a compound. But they got to you pretty quick from what I saw in the video. But if anyone doesn't know Lucky, great station. He comes on. He does during the day tire shop. I think it's Rhode Island, and fixes all kinds of big truck tires and car tires and stuff like that. And he goes live all the time. Just a cool channel. So any of you guys don't know Lucky, check him out. Really, really good guy. I see low humidity. We're high today. We're actually on the other side, Tim. All the humidity is coming back to us. We had low humidity, and now it's coming back, and the high temps are coming back. So we'll see what happens. I haven't seen Dr. Olson on in a couple of days. I'm wondering if he's going to be on tonight. That's why I figured I'd come on a little early. It'll show me if he signs on. If he signs on, then I'll sign off. I don't want to interrupt the doc, especially when he's doing one of his bolt by bolt that everybody likes. I see Horses is coming on in a little bit with his live stream in a few minutes, in about 10 minutes, I think. So we'll sign off for that. But anyway, those guys are just joining, talking about lawn tractor, deck belt, factory belt, put it on, it's loose. And you're like, what the hell? It's the pulley on the engine has worn so that the V-belt is too far in, so that it thinks that the belt's an inch and a half or so longer than it is, and it's slipping a little bit. It's still cutting, but it's not the best. So not only use the factory belts, I always say, because they're the right length, but check the pulleys, not as much on the deck because the deck ones are always engaged, but the engine pulley, that's spinning all the time, whether your deck's engaged or not, and the Kevlar on the belt will wear into that pulley. It really will. And over time, the tension on it will cause it to spread a little bit too. So between the spreading of that pulley and the wear on the V groove, now the belt is sitting probably a half inch from where it should be, which in effect makes the belt act like it's an inch to inch and a half longer, which is no good. Then you don't have the tension. So anyway, 2 rods, 13 pins, 1 plate. Oh my gosh. Wow, that's something, Lucky. Holy cow. Look at his video, Tim. Go on Lucky 7 Mower. Look on his video. He actually was filming riding his mud mower, and he had a little incident with some logs. And it's pretty harrowing when you watch it. I mean, I really feel for the guy. I mean, I was saying, ouch, watching him, and he wasn't even really flinching. So, thumbs up to you, Lucky. You got a lot of balls, my friend, because you took that like a man should. No yelling and screaming, and the paramedics were like, "You all right? You're right," and you're like, "Yep, no problem, good." So I don't know if they drugged you up or what, but I tell you, man, you were cool as a cucumber, pal. I tell you, I'd probably be screaming like a baby. But anyway, I mean, knock wood, I haven't ever really broken a major bone, just toes and fingers and things like that. But pretty harrowing video, though. If you watch it, guys, watch Lucky 7's video. It'll make you think next time to look and make sure your paths are perfectly clear if you're going to really go balls to the wall, in the woods. Because I had a friend of mine hit a ditch one time and went head over tea kettle over the steering wheel on a Cub Cadet tractor, and he broke ribs. I mean, it was bad. So 4146. Oh, that's when it is in the video. Okay, you probably got that memorized by now, but it'll probably be a very popular video, Lucky. I mean, it'll probably get you a lot more subs, But I don't know, Tim. It's a sheet metal pulley, and I probably could. But I'm going to look because it's a standard 17.5 to 19.5 type Briggs engine. So it's a very common engine. I have an Aaron's lawn tractor, parts tractor in my backyard. It may have the same pulley. So in fact, the one that I have in my backyard is the one that was in the flood that the guy gave me after I sold him the other one. So we'll see what happens. I keep getting this pop-up here saying Chromebook update available. I'm afraid to hit it, though, because I figure it's going to crash. Anyway. Boom. There you go. What's going to be here Sunday, Tim? Yeah, I've seen that most guys will just buy a little smaller belt, but the problem is when you do that, it's really riding on the pulley where it's not supposed to be, and then you get a little bit of alignment issues and things like that. So I will check. I'll see if I have that and see. I see people have a lot of luck with those True Blue belts, those blue Kevlar belts that you see Tractor Supply. I don't know. My feeling every time I see one of those, the blue stuff keeps on flaking off, like powdery all over the place. You know what I mean? I haven't had too much luck with them. They seem to wear out quicker, 1.5 case and Sunday's up. Oh, wow. Cool. Wow. That's pretty wild. That's good, Lucky. I think I hit 100 the other day, and since then, I commented on a couple other guys' videos, and they subbed. So I think I'm at 102. So we'll see if the 1,000 comes. I don't really care at this point. If somebody enjoys what I say or what I do, more power to them. That's fine. But hopefully you have a fast recovery, Lucky. I wish that on you, my friend. I look forward to your videos, and it's funny. A guy that works for me in our Bridgeport plant could be your clone. His name is Dave. I got to take a picture of him and send it to you. You guys could be twin brothers. You guys look alike. You really do. And it's funny. Every time I see your video, I think it's my buddy Dave. But anyway, hopefully, usually 8 to 10 weeks, I think, for fractures like that. But since you're still in the hospital, I'm sure with all the hardware they have in you, it's going to be a lot more time, probably 10, 12 weeks at least. So, hey, figure it this way, Lucky. By the time you get out and you get back to normal, it'll be nice and cool out. Fall will be here. So one good thing to look forward to. And while you're in there, you could do some live streams. How's that? Live streams from the hospital bed. That'll be a good one. I'll definitely look at that one. Show us some of the x-rays of all the hardware you got in you. You're like a hardware store now with the ankle. But anyway, what else is going on? like I said, I'm going to work on that trimmer again tomorrow. That got me so angry because I spent a good hour, 2 hours on it. It was running perfect. I cut with it. I was doing great, this and that. And then the guy shows up the next time and it won't even start. And I got so mad. I pulled it so hard. I pulled the pull rope out. So just frustration, But like I said, Chinese stuff, you know, we'll fix it. We'll get it going. Now the guy feels bad. And he's like, oh, no, no, no. I said, no, no, no. And I'm the type of guy, if I can't fix it, I don't charge you. Okay? I won't. I mean, I didn't spend a lot for parts, but if it can't be fixed, I'm not going to charge you because then it will have defeated me. I have an old video I did saying it's okay to fail, but I hate it. You know what I mean? So I'll make it right. Worst case, he said he'll increase a couple bucks. If that's the case, I'll buy a Zama factory carb. I think I can get him as low as about $37. I've seen him average about 40, 45 for this one. I think it's a C1Q54A. But we'll see. I mean, if it's just the fact of this Chinese carb is junked up inside, then maybe I'll just buy the OEM. 6 to 8 months. Now, is that for full recovery or until you can even go back? Because usually, I know it's 8 weeks for a standard fracture before you can even go back to work. And especially with what you do, you're on your feet all day, so that would be kind of lousy. How long in the hospital, Lucky? You've been there, what, a week now? Close to a week. Wow, that is something. I feel for you, my friend. Sorry. Prayers go out to you. Hopefully you get a quick recovery. But yeah. Oh, you have a lot of time to watch YouTube now. You got a laptop in the hospital, or what do you got? Are you just still working on your phone? I tell you, I love this Chromebook for $150. You get a 15, 16-inch screen. YouTube looks nice. You can see all the live people on the side. It's nice. And you can do live streams because it's a Google product. You don't have to worry about having the 1,000 subscribers. I'm assuming you're on the hospital Wi-Fi. Usually they have pretty good Wi-Fis. Yeah, yep. But, all right. Yeah. All right, I'm going to hit it. I see Horses is going to come on pretty soon with his live stream, so you can catch that. I know his are pretty good as well. So I'll let you guys go. Lucky, thumbs up to you. Prayers out to you. Hopefully we'll see you online soon. Hopefully fast, healthy recovery. Hopefully nothing goes wrong, and we're going to rehab tomorrow. Okay, I'll definitely think about you, my friend. Good luck on that, and thumbs up to you. And we'll be back soon. We'll be back. I'm going to do another video tomorrow after I work on that blasted trimmer again. Hopefully we'll get it all squared away. But until then, guys, thanks for chiming in. Timmy, Lucky, everyone who's here. I'm going to head over to Horse's live stream. We'll see what he's doing. So thumbs up, Small Engine Nation, and we'll talk to all you guys soon. All right, take care, guys. Bye-bye.